Welcome, Sapphire fans, to the final matchup of round 3. We're back today with our 2020 Grand Final rematch between the USQ Jets and Brisbane North Cougars. My name's Hannah Davies and I'm joined in commentary today by the ever-popular and former Australian men's coach, Dave Mills. We've just witnessed a thrilling performance by the Firebirds, who had a narrow loss against the Swifts in extra time, and I have no doubt this game will be just as exciting. We've got second and third on the ladder right now, being the final game in this round. Dave, you commentated yesterday with USQ star shooter Charlie Bell. What do you expect from today?
Oh, thanks for having me. Yes, I did commentate with Charlie Bell, and she was very confident, looking forward to this match, as am I. I've talked it up. When I looked at the schedule, this was the game I circled on the calendar. It's going to be an absolute crackerjack, actually. Cougars lost a couple, so the teams are probably a little bit closer than we thought at the start of the week, so it should be a great match.
Yeah, we had three great games yesterday. The Thunder took a strong win over the Bull Sharks. QUT had an emphatic win over the Mendy Rays, and we saw our first draw of the season when the Wildcats took on the Tigers.
It was 46 apiece. Shot to win it on the buzzer, just missed by a smidge, and unfortunately, it ended in a draw. Just a big shout out to the Bull Sharks. Lost their coach through the week and came back, won the second half against the team they were playing yesterday. It was a really good match. So they're on the way up.
Yeah, awesome. And we've got the team list here for the USQ Jets. So we've got Charlie Bell in goal shooter, Bell Friday goal attack, Steph O'Brien, the captain in wing attack, Brooke Harms in centre, McKeely Hock in wing defence, Javern Shawlow in goal defence, and Bridie Condren in goalkeeper. And of course, our bench, we've got Abigail Houston, Caitlin Pollock, Lily Cubby, and coached by Tracy Jeans Fraser. Dave, do you want to run through the Cougars team list for me?
Oh, I really do. Riley Holland kicking off at shooter. She is the captain as well. Mia Stow bringing the power at GA. Lisa Maimai just watched her sister play, so she's at WA. Lossa Niomata is centre. Vivian Fitzpatrick, the WD. The gun player for me, Ruby Bakewell-Doran at GD. Remy Camo at the goalkeeper spot. Leaves Rikas, Shearer and Maddie Davies making her debut up on the bench. Coached by the brilliant Liz White.
Yeah, and we're missing two of our favourite players today in the Cougars. We have no Olivia Coughlin and no Macy Gardner, who've been replaced by Shearer and Davies from the Ruby team. You can see them there on the camera.
Yes, absolutely. Olivia Coughlin being Kiwi, the bubble opened up, so she took the opportunity to fly back home and see the family she hasn't seen for a ridiculously long period of time. And yeah, Macy Gardner's out for this one.
Yeah, how selfish of Olivia. She's been my favourite for the last few rounds. So.
Well, I'll have a word. I'll put a complaint in. I'll ring Liz right now, actually.
Yes,
so.
do. And before we get underway, we'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this great game is taking place, the Turrbal, Jagera and Yakra people, and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. And we extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people watching today. So setting up the game now, and our umpires today will be Jess Lakeman, Claire Johnson, and our reserve, Bridget Fletcher. Dave, what are your predictions for the game today?
Oh, look, everyone who listens knows I'm a Lions through and through. I've been there a long time back in the day. But my heart is Lions, but honestly my head has to go with this Cougar side. They haven't missed a beat. They've looked magnificent. They've had two harder matches than the Jets, so they could be a bit more mentally prepared for this. Lifetime, these teams have met 6 times, 5-1 in favour of the Cougars. This is a bogey team for the Jets, and unfortunately I think it may continue today. Hope I'm wrong. But I'm thinking, and in fact, I think the Cougars could pull away a bit towards the end.
Yes, look, I am expecting that as well. Last week, the Cougars had such a stellar performance, particularly in the defence end, as you were saying before, Ruby Balcour-Doran, such a stellar player. And of course, when Dave says Lions, he's referring to the old Queensland State Netball team competition.
Yeah, it's had about 43 different names, so don't ask me to name them all. It started out as Ergon Energy Cup, and then it changed many, many times. So yes. Yeah, so it's changed its name about 4 times in the 20 years it's been going.
Of course, and we're obviously hoping a lot of the crowd have stuck around from the Firebirds game. Dave, you caught the end of that. How good was the extra time?
Yeah, fantastic. I'm not a fan of extra time. If you work hard and get a draw, you should get a draw. But, you know, it's great for TV, and that's what we're all about, you know, getting those commercial dollars in. That's why we got the 2-point shot, and that's why we have extra time. Absolutely,
and we're just watching the players in their team talk before they take the court.
So
Charlie Bell's got a smile on her face. How was it? Commentary yesterday. How'd she go?
She's a chatterbox. Didn't mind having a chat, and we talked about like the games. One of the games blew out a little bit, so we talked about all things netball, and it was just good to get an insight. She's a semi-professional athlete, telling us what training was like, things like that. And yeah, it was good. I hope we'll get her back.
Yeah, of course. We've got Losa Nuimata starting us off in the centre position. Lisa Maimai has to work back early.
So good start here by the defensive Jets. Bit of a team effort. They go in long. Oh, Condren gets up high. And the call goes the opposite way. That's interesting. I would have thought that was Condren's ball.
And that's Mia Stower. She's going to take the long shot. Holland was there. And she sinks that first one.
So, long ball there from Stour. That probably doesn't shoot that far out that early on. So, back with the Jets now.
That's Hams feeding into Bell. And she puts that one away early.
Nice steady start. If anything, you'd probably say the Jets looked a little slicker there.
Yeah, it's a pretty calm start from both teams. I think the first few weeks the nerves were there and they kind of started really impactfully. But a lot steadier this week.
So, Riley Holland starting. She hasn't started the last 2 weeks. They've been managing her back through an injury. So has been only playing 30 minutes. I wonder if she'll get more time given the importance of this match.
Yeah, and I'd say that's exactly why they've started her on, like you were saying. And that's Bridie Condren early with a rebound off Holland. An unusual rebound from her.
So a bit of a lull. They have to go back. Hams with no one to look into. So you can just see Bakewell Doran there just hovering. She'll pick one off soon.
Yep, she's a great floater, isn't she?
Indeed.
And Steph O'Brien, we were just talking about, has been playing in the quaffle recently, and you can absolutely tell when it comes back into the attack, her speed is almost second to none. And there she goes, just as we're talking about her.
That up, didn't you? You dead set teed that up. So.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Steph.
So. Beryl with that refeed. She did that last week. Remember we were talking about it last week, and she's doing it again here.
She loves the front space, and she's just taken what would have been a super shot if we were in the super. But it'll just be the mere one today.
The mere one. She needs lots of mere ones.
She will. And that's Ham. She'll have to look back. Steph O'Brien's getting a bit caught with the double defence there in Fitzpatrick and Nui Mata.
Nice strong get there by Bell. That looked like it was going out for all money, but she ripped it in, got herself on the goal line.
Yeah, she's very reliable with any high ball, isn't she?
Is indeed. Just not quite working for the Cougars at the moment. That's another centre pass they haven't converted. An
untouched ball, not exactly what you want to see, no one going for it.
Indeed, but they get one back here. No, they took it off and thought Bakewell Doran had that.
Yeah, they're really having to work for it, the Cougars. Do you think they would have been feeling pretty confident coming into this game after last week?
2-0 and they've looked $1 million. So they scored 70 last week, I think, from memory.
Yeah,
and,
completely.
You know, that would be a confidence booster. In fact, they scored 70-41 against the Cougars, and the Jets were 67-34 against the Rays. So both teams in good form.
They are. Look, I got to say the Cougars, they're missing Macy Gardner today. She's a pretty steady centre for them, so I do think they'll feel that a little bit.
Yeah, Lossa Nuamata is pretty good too, but yeah, obviously the experience of Macy Gardner having been a Firebird fixture for almost a couple of years now. So, and yeah, so she's a big out for them, as is your best friend.
Olivia Coughlin.
Olivia Coughlin. I'm sure you're besties now.
Oh, and that's Stower. She misses, but she'll get the rebound on an obstruction call from both players by the looks of it. Doesn't shoot, passes off to Holland, who secures that goal.
Indeed. So Stour is a solid performer for them, and it's I reckon she'll end up taking a majority of the shots, to be honest with you. I think the Holland will do a lot of drawing and attracting a bit of double teaming. That'll open it up beautifully for Stour, just like that did there for Beryl Friday. So
yeah, interesting.
That's my opinion.
Okay.
So
I guess we'll have to see what happens. Dave, are you on the stats this week?
Yeah.
We had a lot of shooting stats from you last week. Can we expect that again, or?
Yes, I think we can, yeah. I'll do my best.
I'm hinting at something.
I got your hint.
Oh, and there's Belle, a bit of a longer one for her, but she takes that confidently, and she's got a real smile on her face today. I'm loving to see that.
So that's her 4. She's 4 straight. Beryl 2 straight.
Oh, and there's Ruby Bakewell Doran with an early tip for her team. They'll need that, down by 3.
So Stour gets the ball in. That is her second. So they got 2 each, and they missed 1 each, the Cougars shooters. So
Stour has to move it back to Fitzpatrick.
Oh, misread there.
Yeah, the connection is just struggling a little bit in that mid-third, isn't it?
Well, that's with, the Macy Gardner out. That wouldn't have happened probably, but, it'll come. I don't know how much they've trained this week or anything like that, so.
Ooh, definitely a replay.
Hamsey not happy with that.
I reckon if she'd done it more confidently, she may have gotten away with it, but you could see the hesitation on her face as soon as she touched it.
So, just noticed the Jets team wearing black armbands. I don't know what that's in relation to, I'm sorry.
Me either. And there's Holland. She'll hold for that ball. Puts it right under the hoop.
Unnecessary there from Condren. Gave that away unnecessarily, and it's back to a 1-point game. So.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd expect to see the Cougars down this early in the game, but they're only down by 1, so.
There's only 1 turnover, so they fought back well. So.
And that's Friday. She'll shoot that one from a distance. Gets them the goal, 2 ahead. Do you think we'll see a more consistent lineup from the Jets today? The last few weeks they've changed up the shooting circle quite a bit.
Yeah, just looking at the bench, I'd say you'd probably see Abigail Houston, because she's slotted in quite well. Lily Covey's is a big match, probably the biggest match she would have played in her very short career, so I'm not sure if Tracy Jean Fraser will bring her on. I guess it depends how well Beryl's going. She's got that right knee heavily strapped, so looks like there could be some sort of injury there. And does look to be limping just a little bit as she runs there. So, yeah, it'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But Covey's got no fear. Like, she turns and shoots, no stress at all. So
she does. It's awesome. And when you've got Bell under the circle there to grab your rebound, why not?
Yeah, I mean,
just like that. There we go.
Exactly.
That's what she's best at.
So
probably one of the fastest shooters I've watched as well.
Yeah, she did mention that yesterday when we were talking. She says, when she's in the groove, she's in the groove. So just lets it go.
And there's Mai. Just watched her sister Gemma play a pretty integral role in the Firebirds game just prior.
And Riley Holland as steady as ever. There you go. There's that knee injury. That is a lot of strapping. So
it is. There's far too many netballers on the court these days with knee strapping, isn't there?
Rebecca Rounds, like, she's massive amount of strapping on hers. I don't know how well she's travelling, but last night.
It's those knee problems.
Yeah, it looked like it was restricting her a little bit too. So Cougars to tie it up here. Boom shakalaka. That one's for Charlie Bell. She wanted me to say that. So that's 8 apiece.
Okay, once a game, allowed.
Yeah, I don't particularly like it.
Oh, the Cougars somehow pull that together. It was a very scrappy centre. Mia Stower's looking. Sorry, Riley Holland with the shot there.
So, just like that, the Cougars erase a 3-goal deficit and they lead. And again, they've done nothing spectacular. Nope. This is what they do. And this is what exactly what happened in the final. You looked up and all of a sudden they were down by 17.
Exactly.
And I've watched that game a couple of times and I could not tell you where, it went all wrong for the Jets. They were just solid, the Cougars, and that's what they can do. So, Bell gets a Mizuno momentum shift.
Contact from Condren. Yes, Dower will get the long shot. Just misses. And they won't get that. Condren will take the throw in here.
So 9-all, pretty even start. Yeah, both teams still playing within themselves, I reckon. They haven't had that flow that we've seen in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything particularly spectacular yet. I think players are staying one-on-one. Sorry, we haven't seen much hunting from Bakewell Doran, but I'm sure she's going to get into her groove soon and come out in a bit.
I have no doubt that will happen. So, and we've got a break there, or contact maybe. So, again, throw to a double team, never a smart move.
Somehow, O'Brien gets the ball back in the hands of her shooter Friday. And she finishes that one off to get them 2 ahead with 5 minutes to go.
Is that a possession call or contact? No, contact on
Hams.
Contact
on Hams, yes.
Momo, she'll have to probably do a lot more of the feeding this game than she has been when Macy's been there.
Macy Gardner's there, of course.
Oh, sure.
Lots of bullets that right into Holland, who gets a bit of a hug from Condren there.
How you doing? So another momentum shift for our good friends Mizuno.
Belle's just holding so strong in the circle there, but with Camo next to her, it's hard to get as close as she'd probably like to.
Yeah, Camo did brilliantly on Belle in the final last year, so Belle said she'd watched a couple of games of it, and so she had a plan for her. Wouldn't tell me what the plan was, but has a plan.
Well, that's not helpful.
Yeah, no scoops there, I'm sorry.
That's unfortunate. We've got a change in the Cougars centre. I'm not entirely surprised by this, but we've got Maddie Davies, who's a Ruby player. She's come up the ranks playing for Downey Park, so it's awesome to have another local for the Brisbane Cougars take the court. I don't think she's played a lot of Sapphire series. Have you seen this player before, Dave?
I'm stretching the memory bank now. Unless she played a lot in 2019, which I don't think so. I don't recall seeing her last year. That doesn't mean it didn't happen, but you've... yeah, no, I can't remember. So I don't think so. The Davies, what? Relly? Cuzzy, sister?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay. So we're all tied up again, Cougs, 12-12.
Would be nice to have a bit more netball talent in the family. Can't take ownership.
Fair enough.
And there she is, Davies with the little one. Pops it into Stour.
Stour with the power. What a great shot. So now they lead by 1 here.
They do. I have a feeling it's going to be very close this entire game. Pretty similar to the game we just saw with the Swifts and Firebirds.
Unfortunately, the wrong team lost.
Yes.
So that's why I like the draw, so you get something out of it.
I know. I didn't know we were going into extra time.
Stour again.
Stopped.
So will we get to read your article on that one later in the week?
I hope so.
Excellent. I see you've been published a couple of times in the Courier Mail. It's fantastic.
Yes, trying to get netball and specifically the Sapphire series in as much as we can this year.
So 14-12, and we have a timeout. So it looks like, well, actually no one's going to the bench. So call the timeout, but no one's going to the bench. Oh, looks like we've got to get the sponge out.
Yes.
We've got a bit of sweat on the floor, so it's not a timeout.
Random fact, but I think my favourite...
Is it a fun fact?
Oh, it's a random fact. I'm not sure if it's quite fun.
We'll see. I'll be the judge of it.
But my favourite sweat towel from the teams has got to be the Tigers. It's the orange and black, the tiger print.
You're right. That's not a fun fact. So, that's good to know.
You'll have to watch out for it next time they play.
I probably won't, but yeah. So, Beryl, great feed. Belle, nice hold.
Whoever's in charge of the team wear has done a good job with that one.
So, Charlie Bell, I think, 10 from 10. Beryl, 3 from 4. So they're doing okay. Again, I apologise if I missed one, but that's what I've got at the moment.
Well, Davies has slotted in really nicely into this Cougars lineup. They're 2 ahead again after being down.
So, there's one takes a tumble there.
Just as I speak about that, Davies hits the court.
Cousins on the floor. So Beryl will shoot this, surely. She does. Falls short. Bakewell Dawn with the rebound, and away they go this transition. Actually just broke down a little bit. So Charlie Bell using a height there, which is good.
They're still struggling a little bit, the Cougars, to bring it down smoothly. It's
Holland.
A little bit messy, but they do get it to Holland.
Oh. Missed one she normally eats. That's a surprise there.
Yeah, it's another missed shot from her that I'm surprised to see. Perhaps she's been preferring starting off, watching the game,
possibly,
and then coming on.
Of course, they got Martina Rikas on the bench if it goes pear-shaped, which she's a quality individual and shooter as well.
She is, and once she warms up, you have to watch out.
So
there's Mai with the little feed into Holland. She'll put this one up, and she's settled straight in.
So 16 to 14 minutes to go. They're trying to pull this one back here, the Jets.
Friday wants to work it in closer.
Does the fancy footwork, gets herself a little bit closer and does well.
I think the Cougars will have just enough time to secure another one.
They will indeed, at 40 odd seconds. Holland cops one in the back for her troubles. So it's a good battle between her and Condon, isn't it?
Oh, any battle with Condon is a good one, isn't it?
True.
Got to say, I think she's one of my favourite defenders in the competition.
seem to favour the defenders.
Oh, so
I wonder if Olivia's watching. We don't know because we haven't got the Facebook feed up. But yeah.
We don't.
Oh, turnover here. The Cougars going hard. They got time for another one. This would be big play. This would be a massive play if they score here, and it looks like they will.
I think they will. Well, they started slow, didn't they? But
yeah, they had an uncharacteristic turnover, and that gave them they were down by what, 6-3 at one stage, but geez, they fought back well here. I'll get you to talk a little bit while I just do these stats.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, look, the Cougars, both teams started quite steady. I think they were probably a bit nervous to face off against each other, but as the Cougars always do, they found their confidence. And I was really impressed with the addition of Maddie Davies on the court. We haven't seen her in the Sapphires before that we know of, and I thought she was a really stable replacement for Macy Gardner.
Indeed, she was. So they scored 18. So, big pardon. So yeah, 18 there, 12 to Riley Holland, and 6 to Stour, bringing the power. And at the other end, perfect game so far. The Bell 11 from 11, and Beryl's,
no surprises there.
No surprises. Beryl's 4 out of 5. It says 19 on the screen. I've got 18. That's, see what I mean? I can't miss these things. So I don't know who will give it to. I'll just have a look. See, I'll watch it back briefly.
I believe the Cougars are up by 4 with the last minute shot.
Oh, so Holland got that last shot, didn't she? That's right. My apologies. So she's 13 out of 15 and 6 out of 7 to Stour. So there you go. So 22 shots to 16. So they've had 6 more attempts, the Cougars. So it probably says that their mid-court's working a little bit better than the Jets' mid-court.
Yeah, which is unexpected because they are missing one of their key players in Gardner there.
Yeah, but any team with my in it, and I'm a bit of a fan of New Armada, so she started well, a little bit nervous probably, starting in the centre there. But yeah, Fitzpatrick's done well, so it's a solid mid-court for the Cougars. Liz being very animated there on the sideline. So
actually, that's Macy Gardner there. She's chatting to Maddie Davies on the side.
So giving her a bit of advice there. She must be injured then. Well, she's not New Zealand with your mate Coughlin.
She's not.
So
she's probably saying good job, if anything.
Yeah, well, she's come out well.
Been great so far.
Yeah, she's come out really well. So just needs to continue here. Looks like Mai's having a bit of a chat too as she munches on the lollies.
It's like a snack.
I bet you do. So, but yeah. So anyway, it's second quarter, 19 and a half. That's pretty good. Oh, sorry, 19 for a quarter. That's impressive.
It's a pretty good score.
So it really
it'll be
is
a high-scoring one throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
I think they're only just warming up.
Indeed. The second quarter is where it all fell apart for the Jets last year in the final. So this is an important 15 minutes coming up. So if they don't get on top of or at least stay with the Cougars, the game could slip away right here because they actually won the second half in the final last year, but the game was gone. So that was the problem.
There we go. That's the challenge. Millsy's set. Second quarter Jets.
That'll get back to Tracy Jeans Fraser. I'll get a call about 7 o'clock tonight. Don't you worry about that. But,
Tracy Jeans Fraser was looking pretty calm in that coaches chat just then. We usually see get stuck in a bit when they're down.
Yeah, true. Well, again, they've done not a lot wrong. They've scored 15. There's been 2 drop balls and they've been capitalised on. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're playing badly. So there's not even, as a coach, there's not even a lot with that correct. Like, that was just brilliant by Stour there. You know what I mean? And what could Condren do? What could Sherlock do? They couldn't do much more because that was just smart play by her. So
we've had a bit of a switch up in the Jets lineup. O'Brien's hit the centre position just as Ruby Beckwell-Doran steals the ball off her. Condren's come out to goal defence, where we don't often see her, but she brings so much excitement in that position.
To me, that's a little bit wasted. I don't think Condren can go with the pace of Stour. And look, see, if you look there, they're on different sides of the court. Like, Stour's a very smart player and gets replay call.
Yeah, look, I would agree. Stour is so quick, and I think that Condren's best moves come when she's holding. Yeah, when she comes and
she can hold it. The ball knows, so that one went out. So if she could hold the space and then come out for those big starry intercepts, you probably. Maybe she can get a few in the mid-third. Maybe that's what Tracy Jeans Fraser's going for, to try and pick one off in the mid-third.
Yeah, and look, once the Cougars get in that circle, they don't often miss, so maybe she just wants them to stop it before they can even get there.
There won't be a lot of rebounds in this game, either end, because both, like with Charlie Bell at one end and Holland, that was brilliant. So that was Mai. The speed of Mai there to pick that up. There was 3 Jets there, looked like they were going to get it.
Got to say, in the mid-court, we've got O'Brien and Mai, 2 of the fastest players, I dare say.
Indeed.
And they've both come from football backgrounds. O'Brien in the AFL and Maimai, of course, a touch footballer.
She is indeed.
Don't we have the most multi-talented players?
We really do. And, there's a few former players like Chanel Dyer's playing the AFLW. Mind you, she's not a former player anymore. She's back. She retired for a week. And, and then Lucy Benjamin, who's with the Jets last year, she's playing AFLW as well. So there's a bit of a... I'm in the trophy industry, and that's a sport that is growing a lot, is AFLW.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Smart play there by Stour.
One of the...
Look at the score just blow out there. They just, we've
we
literally...
looked away for 2 minutes.
We've talked for 3 minutes, and they've put on a margin of 8. You know what I mean? This is what the Cougars do. And again, tell me what's been spectacular. I mean, besides that great chase.
That by Holland.
Yeah, but that's simple netball, isn't it? Like, just go to the pocket, throw it in the shooter. So
it's what they're good at, the Cougars.
They do it better than any other team. So.
Don't they? And, the fact that they just back their bench so much. Maddie Davies hasn't played a lot of Sapphire, comes on, filled the shoes of Macy Gardner. And she's doing a great job of it.
This will be the first goal to the Jets this quarter. So
Off
it
the
was,
hands of
it
Bell.
was 19 to 15 at quarter time, and Bell, they finally get it to Bell, and she gets a goal.
Yeah, and it's funny that just before this quarter started, Dave, you were saying Jets second quarter.
Absolutely.
What's happening?
I don't know what it is. Like, the Cougars just seem to have the wood over the Jets. Like, they literally, it's 5-1, 6 times meeting. These two teams have met more than any other teams in the league thus far, just with the way the finals have fallen and stuff like that. So, but they just seem to have the wood. So, and eventually, it starts playing on your mind. If it isn't already playing on the Jets' mind, if they don't get a result today, they're going, what have we got to do to beat these guys?
Yeah,
so.
I'd say you're exactly right. I know you spoke to Bell yesterday, and she chatted that Tracy Jeans-Fraser was looking at this match in particular and trying to build off last year. Did she mention anything specific about that?
They said they talked about it at training. They talked about the second quarter. The positive for the Jets is they lost one quarter of netball.
Yeah.
They just so happened to lose it by a ridiculously large amount. The rest of the game, they were in it. And the week before, in the prelim, they lost by 3. The week before that, they played in the last round, they won. So, you know what I mean? They're not that far away. It's just winning those mental battles, winning the 1%ers at the right time. And just at the moment, the Cougars seem to be the team that does that the most in this matchup. So
yeah, I completely agree. And as we've been chatting, Lily Cubby's come on in the goal attack position. Before the game, we were talking about how...
Martina Riekers has come on for Holland.
Martina Riekers has also, yeah.
So they've obviously they're going to still go with the minutes for Riley Holland. They're going to manage her still. So, so that injury, the tendonitis injury, is still giving her a bit of grief.
But yeah, with the Jets in that goal attack position, I think they're just struggling a little bit to find who they want to stick in there. And of course, when Charlie Bell's on the court, the Cougars know to double team on her.
How's that shot from Riekers? That's exactly right. So Riekers has come on looking like she's been playing the whole match. I swear to God, there's no one more relaxed than Martina Riekers.
I know, she looked a little bit nervous when she started the last few weeks, but I think that's all melted away now.
She loves coming off the bench like that, and she is just so good to watch. So that's the third for the Jets. If my maths is correct, we're looking at a 9-3 quarter at the moment.
It's a huge quarter with a 10-goal lead already. It's not looking good for the Jets. I have no doubt that they can come back, but if the Cougars continue the way they are, and Martina Riekers just misses, Condren will give them another opportunity.
That's the first miss for the Cougars this quarter, I think. So,
and the Jets will need to capitalise on this.
So, ooh, Cock nearly lost that. And step called, I thought she did. So it's a football call. A few heads dropping here in the Jets, which is disappointing. Like, it's only around second quarter. And I think there's a bit of almost inevitability, whatever that word is. Can you say that for me?
Inevitability.
Thank you. You're the journalist. I'm not. So, oh, hang on. We've got an injury here. Is that your cuz? She's gone down. Up she gets. Fixes the hair. As long as the hair's okay, she'll be okay. So, a bit of a height difference there between Davies and Hock.
Yeah, she's a smaller player, but...
Chanel Dyer's small too, and she goes all right. So.
One of the smallest,
Keisha Grant. Yeah, I could give you a list. So,
the smaller they get, the faster they go, don't they?
I have a bit to do with the Queensland mixed team. There's a little girl there called Sophie Gunn. She'd be barely 5 foot and goes like a jet. So.
And playing mixed.
Playing mixed netball,
They don't put her up against...
Oh, she's a copper too, so she's tough as teak. So.
Oh, she's playing mixed. I'm not surprised by that. Lily Cubby works it back with
She needs a big game. I don't think she's shot particularly well. And again, she's short on that one. And that puts a lot of pressure on Bell.
It does.
So she hasn't had the best of seasons. They're very excited about signing her, but she hasn't stepped up just yet, because the way she finished last year, you think you've got the next superstar, but I don't know if she's playing too much netball, or I know she's grade 12 at John Paul College, so there might be a lot of things going on in her world.
Yeah, well, Paula Stewart from the QT Netball always talks about, with her young star players, is not overloading them, especially with, I spoke to her about Riley Batcheldor, and she just said that we need to make sure they're not training too much, which is funny, because you think when they're this young star player, you just want them on the court every day, but it's quite the opposite.
Yeah, we're sort of changing our thinking at the high performance level, and it used to be, just train, and now it is much more about work-life balance, and that was a lot to do with the old Firebirds coach. Like, she was very much on the work-life training balance, and
is that Rosalie Jenkins?
Rosalie Jenkins, sorry, yeah, and she was big on that. And if you talk to her and the way she talks with the players, and that's why there was a lot of respect for her. It's like, it was almost family first, netball second, and she got the best, like, what was it, 9 years and 5 finals.
Yeah, no,
I'll take that.
You're spot on with that. I spoke to Lara Dunkley, who, of course, is the wing attack of the Firebirds, and she spoke about a new teaching role she's just gone into at St. Rita's, and how Megan Anderson, the now coach of the Firebirds, similarly to Jenky, just said it's all about that work-life balance.
So that ball missed by Bell, and eventually they get there, but no, it has gone out, so it didn't stay in. But the Jets were very slow to react there, even though, we looked out, but, we weren't sure. So Bell's missed a couple now. See, the pressure's on her now with regards to, she's the main shooter.
Yep.
Not getting a lot of help at GA, so.
Yeah, and I can sense that they're relying on Bell and also Condren a lot at the other end of the court to get those intercepts, but they're no good if you can't convert them, unfortunately.
Rikas drops a pretty easy one there, but is that, looks like, they made a change at keeper. That's, don't tell me, Abigail Houston's on. So Sherlaw to the bench, and Condren's still out there at GD. Yes, she is. Of course, we're in the hub. We're not actually at the venue, so we're doing that from the screen. Firebirds kicked us out. We weren't allowed. Just jokes. So Cubby misses again.
Bell manages to get up from the floor there.
She was on the pine, gets up, and somehow she managed to get that back in. So they've stopped the run of the Cougars. They're running away with it, so we're still stood at around that 8-9. Keeps changing between that. Once it gets into double figures, so early in the game. Yeah, but then again, like, I'm telling everyone the story about the Broncos. They were down 22-0 the other night. So Stow misses one. So Stow misses one, but Rikas gets it. So back to 8.
And there's Bridie Condren helping out again. She's everywhere in that court, isn't she?
Yeah, they've had to go back a lot, which wouldn't be super pleasing, but you're up against the red hot defence. Well, actually, if you looked at the table, viewers probably don't remember, but we had, this is the best defensive team in the Jets playing the best offensive, no, the other way around. Best defensive team playing the best offensive team, so yeah, it's...
how exciting is that?
Yeah, so it's a great matchup, but...
it is.
Yeah, but of course, so early in the season, and some teams have played stronger teams and weaker teams, so can't really read into that. Rikas, look at that.
Oh, I'd say so, but I think QT came up against QT Netball pretty strongly in the first game.
Cougars and QT, that was a cracker match.
Yeah,
that was a great way to start our year. Stepping in the circle, that's a bigger coach killer than breaking.
Yep.
So, like, breaking's abhorrent. That's pretty bad too. So the ball's still with Rikas. Yes, it is.
Condren are just going for every ball at the moment. She's really not giving up on anything, is she?
She never does. That's why she played for the Fever last year.
Got a game. Why?
See, 10 double figures so early in the game. Like, that's, need to work harder here. They've got to get a couple back here, the Jets, before half-time, in my opinion. There's one.
And there we go, just as you
Kaylee
said
Hock,
that.
One of my favourite players of all time, Kaylee Hock. A nice angle there.
She's a bit of a taller wing defence, isn't she?
That's her advantage. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially against Mai.
And if you got some little tackers playing wing attack, her arms make them go sideways.
Yep.
And that's a positive. That gives you people, coming through your defenders to have a crack. So that was a big goal for the Jets. Get the marching back to single figures.
Just as we're discussing that, we've got Siobhan Sherlaw come on as wing defence.
Yeah, it hasn't played a lot there.
She hasn't, no.
I thought if they're going to put a wing defence on, they might have gone with Caitlin Pollock. But, a missed shot there. That's unfortunate. Cubby is not shooting well. She's 1 from 4.
Oh,
I'm a big fan of Cubby, so but he probably just needs to maybe just work a couple and get in really close, and then before she takes the range.
That was a beautiful little 1-2 from Rikas and Davies there.
Rika's, on the other hand, just shoots all day long. So
doesn't she?
Yeah. But how long to go? 3:10. Margin is 10. And was that an incorrect centre? No, it wasn't. It was contact instead. So just the body language from the Jets is not good at the moment.
Yeah, look, I definitely agree. You can tell their heads are down a bit. And a 10-goal margin, I mean, look, in the Super, we see teams do it. They don't have the advantage of the Super shot, but I don't think it's time to give up yet. And I feel like they have a little bit.
Yeah, giving up's a very hard. Oh, that's a step and a mile, but we're playing on. So that was almost like a jog, a morning run. But Cubby, see, that's good. She got herself pretty close there and got herself a good, safe shot, for one of the better terms.
She needs to get closer, I think.
She probably just needs 2 or 3 of them, and then she'll be right.
Yeah,
because that's what happened last year. She'd get in, she'd get a couple of easy ones. The shooter would give her the ball. Sometimes when you think the shooter would take it, she'd put it down for Cubby. And, and then before you knew it, she's banging them from everywhere. And maybe that's what needs to happen here a little bit.
Yeah, and she obviously is a long-distance shooter, but exactly what you're saying. She needs to start closer to get the confidence.
Well, there's 2 in a row to her now, so, maybe we've unearthed something here, which is great. So, did you happen to see the draw last night? Were you able to watch it? I saw you online a little bit.
I wasn't able to, no.
Oh, okay. That was a great game, but Abigail Mia, how do you say her surname? Mia Falalatu. Yeah, she did brilliantly.
Yes.
And, did really well at the end there. And she moved to GA and just came home with a wet sail.
Abigail Latu Mia Fowler.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you very much. I haven't got it written down in front of me. So.
That's all right. I do know her playing style pretty well. I've watched her in the Super and the ANZ for a while.
Yeah,
so
indeed.
You did tell me the week before that they'd have
that was the secret.
A star coming
in,
and I was pretty impressed to see that you were.
I wasn't lying. I wasn't lying. No, it was a genuine star. So.
Yeah, definitely. And she'll work well with Amy Somerville. That's a really packed shooting circle, isn't it?
So Cubby is in the groove now, and all of a sudden the margin's coming back. So that's the difference. So she's got her confidence up now, and that'll make it easier for Charlie Bell. See?
What a shot from Bell. A bit longer than her usual distance, but
she looks like a different player from 5 minutes ago, because all of a sudden the pressure's off her, and she knows that she's going to get support from the GA, and that's perfect.
Completely agree, and it's tough when you're that tall, limbering shooter, and you've got a double team, especially when the double team is Kamo and Bakewell Doran.
So it's funny, hey, just that little close shot there for Cubby, and all of a sudden she's full of beans, and she'll probably hit 30 out of 35 now, so something like that. So
now that you've said it,
pressure's on. So see the margin back to 9. It got out to 12. So that's the Jets fighting back here, which is important because it could have gone the other way.
Definitely, and they'll have to move it back again to Condren, who's helping out from all sides of the court today.
So we're inside the last minute. If they take a quick one, there'll be just enough time for the Cougars to get one. They probably want to use a bit more time up, so they can't. Oh, miscommunication. Cubby right on the super shot range.
And
this
there's
is
Bell.
Will she get enough time? She does. So that'll be probably all that we get in, is it? Oh, no, that's not. There it is.
I'd say so. So half-time, 36-28. They've crept up from the 10-goal lead that we saw. I think it got out to 12.
Yep.
What do you expect from the Jets in the second half, Millsy?
Well, probably more of the same now that Cubby's in a bit of form. They just need to I would shorten their leads up a little bit and not give Bakewell Doran any chance to have a crack at anything. She hasn't had the starry intercept yet, but you can see it's getting closer and closer. And I try and push Rikas as high as you can. Rikas doesn't mind going out of the circle, maybe keep her in, but we'll find out more when we come back in the second half, yeah?
Yep, absolutely.
Did you know that majority of netballers aren't wearing the appropriate shoes on court? Running shoes or generic trainers don't provide the grip and support for the quick, dynamic movements needed in a game. It's time to make the swap with Mizuno.
Welcome back to round 3, the last game of the round between the USQ Jets and the Brisbane North Cougars. Dave, what an exciting half it has been so far. We knew the Cougars would come out strong, and haven't they so?
Well, indeed. Like, they won the first 19-15. They won that one 17-13. Looked like it could have got a little bit more ugly for them, for the Jets, but they fought back well. I think the margin was 12. It's now 8. Got some shooting stats. You want them?
Oh, absolutely. Always.
Okay, well, we've got Cougars now. It's combined because Riley Holland went off on that. So they're 11 of 12 at the shooting position. And Stour bringing the power at 6 for 7. So they're 17, that's their 17 goals there. They've only missed 2 shots.
That's pretty good.
It is. The other end, 9 out of 12 for Charlie Bell. And again, combined between Cubby and Beryl Friday. They're 4 from 8 now. Looks worse than what it is. Like, she's hit 3 of her last 4, Cubby. So she's sort of was a bit nervous in there, but she's got back into the groove. So, but anyway, next weekend we've got round 4. It's Mother's Day.
We do.
Have you got anything planned for Mum?
I dare say I do.
What do you have?
Well, we're going to be at the Firebirds.
Stop it.
It is
Where
Mother's Day.
Where are you getting the tickets?
Great question. I'm buying them online.
You're buying them online? That's good, yes.
Yeah, so of course our game next weekend is going to be the precursor.
I was throwing that too.
It's going to be the precursor to the Birdies. And we'd like to stress that that Sapphire game is only accessible with the purchase of a Firebirds ticket.
So 2 for 1.
It is a 2 for 1.
That's excellent.
A very good 2 for 1. So
Can I get
will
a discount?
need a ticket. Oh, Dave,
Can I get a
stingy.
No, I need a discount.
Look, I can give you a discount.
Oh, stop it. Thank you.
Now that you've said it, it's HSS 2021. HSS as in, of course, HART Sapphire Series 2021. So take your mum, take your grandma, take your friends with their mums too, and come along and celebrate Mother's Day with our Birdies on court.
Can men go there? Because you just mentioned mum, grandmum. Can you take men?
You can take men, as long as you're celebrating
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
And cool. That's not a bad deal that they got there 2 for 1.
It's not a bad deal at all.
And you get a discount off the price of a ticket as well.
Yeah.
So, like, early turnover here to the Jets.
Yeah, they're looking a lot more fired up in this quarter already. Cubby's stayed on in goal attack.
Just wonder if Beryl is injured. You know, that right knee was strapped.
Yeah, it definitely makes you wonder.
And Cubby, as we predicted,
an early, really nice shot from her.
I tell people I'm the best coach in the world, and no one believes me. But, yeah.
Shocking.
Oh, wow, ouch, that hurts. So 2 straight here. Yes, it is.
And
so
there's Bell.
Here they come, the Jets. They've turned the afterburners. See what I did there? So,
Bridie Condren staying out in that goal defence position.
We've had a change at the shooting spot, though. Yeah, Riley Holland back on?
Yes, she absolutely is. They're getting a little bit congested on the far side of the court.
Indeed. Abigail Houston nearly picked that one off. So.
And there's Stour.
Long shot for Stour, but it isn't really. That was a silly thing to say. So.
Looks easy for her, doesn't it?
Her and Rickers and Holland, it's easy for all of them. I used to shoot a bit and I struggled. These girls make it look so easy. And then you go to the next level, Ramel Drake, and you're like, how relaxed is she? And, you
it's
know,
almost too relaxed, isn't it?
And Tipper Dwan, like, she's only in the 2nd year. Looks like she's been there for 30 years.
Came up from the Sapphire Series herself.
That's ridiculous.
How awesome. I'm really hoping to see a few of our girls take on the court in the Super Netball this year. Obviously, don't want anyone injured in the Firebirds, but I'd love to see Stour there. And of course, Ruby Bakewell-Doran.
Yeah, like
as well as Mai, I believe she's a
as well.
They're just everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah.
Especially on the court right now.
So indeed. So 2 back now for the Cougars. So they took away that early initiative from the Jets. Oh, Holland, for a girl who's supposedly injured, she's moving well. I think they might be selling this Furphy. So we feel sorry for them. So. That's a simple play, isn't it? That is just classic, simple goal attack play.
Yep.
You know, so, and they do it, like I say, as good as anyone.
I know, and look, Stour and Holland have been working together for so long, and their combination is just phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're up against Condren and Sherlock, who've been together for 3 years now as well, maybe 4, definitely 3. And so they're
so many good matchups in the court right now.
So.
We've got Maddie Davies taking on Steph O'Brien in the centre position. Steph O'Brien, obviously the more experienced of the two, but Davies is really holding her own this game. I'm really impressed by her performance, considering she's usually a Ruby player.
She is indeed. So Cubby misses it. Bell gets the rebound. She misses it. Now it's back with Cubby. And they get it to Bell. That should be a goal. And it is. So 3-all. They're not pulling away with the Cougars. And oh, nice fake there, and eventually falls to my. Stour does a ton of work, doesn't she?
Oh, doesn't she? Every week. She's one of the most consistent players on court, I'd say. And the fact that she stays in goal attack, it'd be pretty hard as a shooter going into that Cougars team as a goal attack, because when you've got Stour performing every week, what hope have you got? Indeed.
So Cubby now very confident in shooting. And if my maths is correct, she's 5 out of the last 7 of shots. So that's
much
better.
She's
back in the groove now. So
absolutely.
That's nice. And there's a turnover. That's fallen fortuitously to Hams.
Yeah, and while the Jets bring it down the court, we'd of course like to thank our sponsors. Number 1, HART Sport, and of course Legasic, Mizuno, Mount Franklin, Powerade, Bondovite, and Strap It. And of course thank Gina and the team at Double Take Sports.
So another good goal there to Cubby. She's going to be dominant in the second half.
They're setting up here, the 2 shooters.
Bell nice and high, getting a little bit of double team there, and Raymond came, I'll eat them for breakfast.
Yeah, the pass just went straight to her.
That was not the best pass. So
it wasn't, and Cubby had the front space, so...
And Holland drops an easy one. So the ball back with the Jets. So they're hanging tough here. Of course, the margin was 8 at half, and it's still 8.
They're going to need to pull something out here, and that's not it.
No, that isn't it, but that is.
That might be, though.
So we're seeing some rubbish netball at the moment, aren't we? Like, it's just a lot of errors. Someone just needs to settle. Maybe Steph O'Brien. Yes, she did. She settled nicely, got it to Bell. And there we go.
Yeah, look, I think we're seeing a big difference in players right now. There's a key few players on each team that are just really steady, and we just saw that from O'Brien and Bell. But I think a few of the younger players, or the less experienced players, I should say, are probably just feeling the intensity of this game right now.
And Holland gets another one. She's shooting particularly well, as she always does. So looks like the Jets are doing the ball girl work this afternoon. Don't know who they are.
So Maddie Davies is going to bring that down to the court. Lisa Maimai will work it into her shooter, Holland, who just holds that baseline so well. She's not happy with that hand from Condren.
So margin 9, Cougars just eating away, sort of eking a lead out here. Oh, quick, fast play. That was a set play.
How fast was that?
That's a classic number 2, we call that, and that was a nice set play. That is a fairly standard play, but it was brilliantly executed. So
can you explain the number 2 set play for me?
Yes. So they just went bang, bang, and the goal attack just drifted the same side as the wing attack, almost like a small overload, and then looks down, and the shooter, particularly if you get a hunting keeper, that play works particularly well, and the keeper just came off the shooter enough to make it. It was really just a lob pass in. So.
Well, there you go, netball fans. Try that out on your next game. It's easy by the looks of it.
You can look me up on Google and under my coaching clinics.
Self-plug there.
Reasonable rates. So I do take Bitcoin. So the ball back with my.
Oh, Davies just says, get out of my way.
Indeed. So sure, she's as tough as teak as well.
Ooh, the shooters are just getting stuck on the same side.
Not the same rotation we normally see from the Cougars, and they turn it over straight away here. Like Condren on the fly. They keep throwing her some balls a little bit too far in front of her. So it's back with the Cougars. The margin's still staying around this, gets down to 7 and up to 10, but neither team are, Jets can't eat into it significantly and Cougars can't pull away significantly. So
no, look, I think once the Cougars get up, it's so hard to bring it back when they get those goals in.
That's what I'm saying. I hate to harp on the grand final, but that's what happened. They got that 17-goal lead at half-time, and it was 17 at the end.
And there's Kamo with another one.
Yeah. We haven't... Bakewell Doran's been a little bit quieter than usual. And when I say that, I don't mean she's playing badly, but it's just normally by now we've seen them take a couple of specky intercepts, and there's Kamo on screen.
Yeah, I think she's having to work harder knowing that
Yeah.
Belle is in that circle, actually. Even
Absolutely.
though she's not playing directly on her, I think
Yeah.
she's looking to make sure that feed is just more difficult into her.
You're exactly right. So she's dropping back just that little bit, just to throw a little bit of doubt into this, as to use a netball cliche, confuse the space.
Yes.
And yeah, that's what's happening at the moment. She's just drifting a little bit. See, again, that's not the normal polish from the Cougars.
It's not.
They're going to let them back in here a little bit. So
They're going to play fair, are they?
oh,
Give them a couple more.
I don't know about that. Oh, Holland nearly picked that off. So, and Condren, I don't like her as much at duty as I do at keeper. I just think she's natural keeper.
Yeah, I think she's the most spectacular in keeper.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see why they
Oh,
brought her
absolutely.
out.
Yeah, no stress. I get why they're doing it. But Cubby again, she's not too bad. 3 from 5 this quarter. So.
It's hard though when you've got Kamo under the post, who will just eat up those rebounds.
So probably Charlie Bell needs to get herself in a better position, but she probably doesn't have enough time because she's a very quick shooter, Cubby. And as soon as she gets here, she turns, and there's no time to set for the rebound. Speaking of missed shots, that's another one to Stour.
So you say Bell needs to get in a better position. You were commentating with her yesterday. How do you think she'll feel about that one?
Oh, she'll let me know.
She definitely will.
I get a lot of calls from different people. Some polite, some not so. So there's Cubby, she's back. So a little bit hot and cold today. So she's now 4 from 6 if the maths is okay. And I haven't missed any. See, margin back to 9. This is a chance to make it 8. So the Cougars just can't put them away, and Jets can't quite get into it.
Yeah, look, she found herself alone there, Cubby, so she really should have sunk that one.
Indeed.
When they're double teaming on Bell, you've just got to take the opportunity.
And Holland holds that backspace beautifully. Like, she just boxed in on Abigail Houston there and just held her. As soon as the ball was above her head, that's when she moves. So many shooters do that hold part well, but they come off way too early. And they end up, it becomes a contest. They're going with the flight of the ball, as is the defender. So then when the ball drops down into the space, it's a contest. But if you can hold your space, if you're listening at home viewers and kiddies, Condren, brilliant there. So, and yeah, you've got to wait for that ball to just sort of be above your head, then move. So.
Well, there you go. That's your shooting masterclass from Dave Mills, featuring the work of Riley Holland. But he's exactly right. And I think, in particular, as a smaller goal shooter, that's why she has to do that hold so perfectly.
Stour with the intercept. You don't see a lot of that because she's obviously an attacking player, but that was brilliant. So is this the run? Is this where the Cougars put the game to bed? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd say so. It could happen at any time, realistically, couldn't it? But I think this is it.
I think the Jets have hung tough. Like this, in my own head, I didn't say it out, verbalise it, but I don't know, there's another one.
There's Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh no, this could be exactly like last year, but they hung tough, and they got it back to single figures, got it back to, I think we got it down to 7.
Oh, and there's the quality in their bench. Martina Riekers comes straight on and gets that long shot.
Yeah, that's, your word choice there is perfect, the quality in their bench. Like, she just comes on and does that.
Exactly.
It's got to be depressing.
Causes a timeout straight away.
Like if you're Condren and Shirley, they've had good games, and then that happens, you got to go and go, what do I do?
Hard to beat.
So we've got a
timeout. They
timeout.
recruit well, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Like it's a factory over there.
So, I mean, Manny Davies comes in as centre, just says,
yeah, like
hello, I'm here.
Cougars and Liz White get, a lot of people say, they steal players and all that sort of stuff, but most of these kids have come through their program and they've been in their junior programs and they just do it better than anyone else. So it's like we all bag the Melbourne Storm for what they do, but let's listen in to Tracy, eh?
To this game, okay, it was only 5 the difference, I think, at one point, and we've now decided to blow it out. All right, we've gone flat on ourselves. All right, we've got to pull ourselves together. Okay, nice, easy play, short, sharp movements, quick deliveries. Okay, all of a sudden, our mojo started to go. We're starting to play lateral ball. Okay, we've got to just play simple netball and build into it. As I said, we only had 4 turnovers before. We've got ample ball. We're just being costly to each other. Okay, anything new? Okay, all right. Some really good work in there. Just work it around. Okay, don't get caught up on the body.
Well, yeah, look, that is the sagest advice you'd ever heard. That's exactly what they need to do. They need to shorten it up. And again, they sort of want, to me, their team's 1 mid-quarter short, and they just need to shorten it up and go short, sharp. So it means Hams and O'Brien are going to have to work their butts off. bring
Yeah,
that
I
ball.
think
Oh, they've made a change. Looks like Hock's gone in the
She's
centre.
asking them to step up, isn't
Yeah,
she? She's just
yeah.
saying they've got ample ball. They just
Yeah.
need to do something
Well,
with
the
it.
defenders are turning it over, not at will, but often enough. Looks like Cubby's come off for Beryl. Beryl Friday's gone back on. And, yeah, O'Brien to wing attack. Hock to the centre. So, Hock, a lot of height on a much smaller player.
It's a
This
very
could be...
tall centre.
She might not get a lot of ball at the centre, but she might create a lot behind her. So, it looks like, yeah, Condren's gone back to keeper, just like that. Oh, look at that.
It's already worked. Yeah, you were saying we
Seriously,
like
they don't pay me
Condren and
enough.
keeper, don't we?
Yeah, Condren and keeper, and then you got, looks like Houston's gone to GD. So, this, you know, this could be, oh, they turned it straight back.
Yeah, another fumble.
Nearly let an expletive there.
It's a bit of a messy game, isn't it?
Look, it's two championship quality sides going hard. So, you know, you visualise this thing in your head. It's going to be this romantic, brilliant game of netball. But there's two teams. They're contesting everything. How often do you watch a super netball game and it's scrappy, but it ends up 73-67 or something like that? And
Yeah,
you know,
completely agree.
yeah. So it's just you've got two, you know, championship contenders going hard. You know, so and one team's going to come away with the win or draw.
Yeah, unlike the Super Netball that you all would have been watching just before this, we won't be going into extra time. For
No
the,
extra time for
the
us.
draw.
We're the Paul Cousins, no extra time. So Bell there. And looks a bit more relaxed when Beryl's out there, doesn't she?
Yeah,
So,
she does.
there you go.
It's
Bit of
it's a
smile.
lot of pressure being the taller shooter when she's got Cubby in there because it's pretty much just her on that rebound. Unfortunately, Cubby just hasn't quite got the hang of those rebounds, especially when you've got Kamo and Bakewell Doran in there. So
Yeah.
Beryl Friday has a much better chance of getting it.
She ends up 4 out of 7 for that quarter. So if you just take the last 4 shots in the second quarter, so she was 8 out of 12. So she's came back. She got it up to 66% for that last part of her game, but she did miss a few early on.
Yeah, and unfortunately 66% just isn't quite enough.
At this level,
No.
we call this high performance netball and probably a little bit below, but you know she's in the state 17s as well. So
Yeah, look, it's a second tier competition and it's a
Yeah.
grand final rematch.
oh, absolutely,
So
like she's only going to get better. So and you know we saw what she did last year, so it's just a matter of having the confidence to play like that again.
and there's a beautiful little pass over from Rika's to Stour.
Yeah, Rika's distributing the ball just as well as she shoots it at the moment. So, which all the shooters in the world will probably hate me for saying this. Shooters invariably have bad passing games, you know, because they're at the end of the passing chain and they're expected. That's a great shot from Beryl Friday.
As in goal shooters?
Goal shooters, they really do. Like I talk about Junior Levy as the best player I've ever seen in my life, and
As in the men's player?
yeah, he's
Yep.
219 centimetres and moves like a mid-quarter.
Wow.
But if there's one criticism of his game is he can't pass the ball. So.
It's probably the one thing you need to be able to
Nah,
do.
well, normally he's just right next to that post, and we
I stand
we
corrected.
hand deliver it to him. So yeah.
There you go.
But, I coached him for about 4 years, and he used to pester me, Millsy, I'm a goal attack, and you're not. So footwork call here on Beryl. I wonder if that's the injury plan up. Just made a, you know, step
I don't know,
slightly of drag.
Yeah, I almost don't want to make excuses in terms of injury for the players because, I mean, if they're fit enough to be on court, a stepping call, and it's not just Friday, of course.
There's the coaching dream team, Liz White, and
No emotion on anyone right there.
Amanda Van. Oh, no, I've done this a long time. I think I mentioned last week 20 years in the comp she's been in, and she's won 15 titles.
Oh, a very successful coaching team.
Yeah. I always-
Bridie Condren just moves that around the post there.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd do that, but anyway, moving on. So margin 14, it's crept away a little bit.
It did. They're already at 53 goals, and we're just about to wrap up the third quarter.
Indeed. So, and it's still with the Jets, just on the outside of the shooting circle.
They're making it really hard for them. And
Push off there, absolute push off, yeah. And the
Yeah.
umpire picked it up. And ironically, Bell talked about this yesterday. She actually said she does it, so I hope she hasn't harmed
she
herself.
did. I did hear her say
Yeah.
that she knows she uses her arm.
Yeah, probably not the wisest thing to say because I believe the umpires would listen back. So that wraps up that quarter. And that's the final part of the third quarter, championship quarter. And the Jets got it all to do, down by 14. Hannah.
Yeah, look, the Jets have got to do some serious hard work here. I think there's a lot of positional changes happening. Something's just not working. I'm glad we've got Condren back into that goalkeeper position, but I think her in particular and Bell in goal shooter opposite ends are having a lot of pressure put on them right now to keep the team alive. But I think right now the Cougars are just way too good for them.
So, not the best mathematician in the world, but I believe that is a 17 to 9 quarter.
Wow,
so
that's a huge
margin
quarter.
was 4, then margin of 8, now margin of 14. So it's sort of gone away a bit there for the Jets, unfortunately. So
It definitely has, and I don't think the Cougars plan on slowing down at any time.
so there's Ruby Bakewell-Doran. She'll get her obligatory 5 intercepts in the last quarter.
Oh,
so.
of course. Yeah, we were saying she's been a bit quiet today, but I mean, what's quiet for Ruby Bakewell-Doran?
So this is something I'm not familiar with. Like, obviously she's there in the Cougars uniform. Training partner of the Firebirds. Do they go to the game before? Like, we're a home game, so are they part of the dressing room? Are they? I really don't know.
No, so last year we would have seen them because they had the bench of 12,
Of course.
which just meant that
Yep.
because of the wacky season we had,
Yeah.
they got to have a few more on the bench in case of
It's a
injury.
beautiful way of putting it. A wacky season. It really was.
Thank
So,
you.
that's-
But this year we just have the 10. So the signed 10, and then of course if there's an injury, that's when they got brought into the game, but they do not sit the bench.
So on game day, but do they go into the sheds? Do they like?
I don't believe so,
okay,
no.
so it's just the team.
Yeah,
to
just
get
the
the
team.
focus and all that. Yeah, I understand that.
Yep.
So,
But of
yeah.
course, one of our Sapphire girls, Binny and Hunt, got to be in the 10 yesterday, of course replacing...
She went to Melbourne, did she?
She did.
Got a free trip.
Replacing our other Sapphire girl, Maddie Hinchcliffe. So the Thunder, something's happening that's...
So Remy Kamo getting the might have copped a corky there or something, or a bit of cramping in the calf. She's getting a bit of rub there. So
Yeah, and
that'll
there's
be
no
quite a job
Coughlin
'cause
to...
she's got really long legs. They go forever. So it's,
yeah, sure. I expect to get a full game today. Usually her and Coughlin do a half-half,
Yeah.
so
So
it'd be nice for her.
you know, it's a little bit of a scary thing. Like, Cougars missing 2 starters in Macy Gardner. Coughlin can start or Kamo. It doesn't matter. 6 of one, half it does the other.
Doesn't matter for them.
They complement each other beautifully at that spot. Makes it a lot easier for Ruby Bakewell-Doran.
And I mean, Maddie Davies, you just saw her on screen.
Yep.
That name's come out of nowhere if you're just watching the
Yeah.
Sapphire. Obviously, she's in the Ruby, but
Yeah.
I mean, she just slotted in perfectly.
So 14 goals at 3/4 time, and 2 people that you and I consider pretty much nearly the best players in the team are not even there. So
Yep.
it's frightening if you're anyone other than a Cougar fan.
Yeah, we're
So-
unsure why Gardner's on the bench there. We can see her in her Firebirds gear, but she wasn't playing today, so it's a mystery.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll find out soon, and hopefully she'll be back next week.
So they're going to have to play a bit of catch-up here, the Jets, and that's what catch-up netball is. Like, you saw the long pass there from Beryl Friday into Bell, and she took a shot that she probably would normally pass off, but the clock is not their friend. They're 13 down, so...
It is not, and look, if anything, I don't think they can take the win at this point, but if they can get at least some competition points, take the quarter.
Well, they haven't won a quarter in this game thus far, so
That's
it's
not good.
No. So they could come, like, if they lose this quarter as well, they come away with nothing.
Got to say, if
And they'll slip down the ladder a bit because the the way that, and they've got a tough few weeks. Like, I think next week's
They do.
not QT. It's the Thunder, and then
Yes.
the week after is QT. So
yeah, and the Thunder are just building every week, aren't they?
they keep, I don't know what's going on up there, but they keep finding these superstars just lying around, literally lying around the beach. So they got Baker from the Jets who retired. She came in. That was last night, and the week before they get Chanel Dyer, and then they pulled this player from somewhere in Victoria.
Yeah, of course, the goal attack they had yesterday.
Unbelievable performance. She hits her first, 13 straight or something.
Probably had one training session with them and just went...
I think I saw her out in the car
Yeah.
park shaking hands, introducing herself to people. And yeah, so, that's a nice play there.
Wow, that's talent, isn't it? When you can step on court with an unfamiliar team.
Well, the coach is from Victoria, so I think that helped with the recruitment process.
She's recruited a few Victorians.
Indeed,
as
she
I believe.
has. Yeah, so, smart play by her. And,
Definitely.
the club's going from strength to strength. They did well under Gary Passion last year. They came back late. They looked like they were going to make the final. Just fell at the last hurdle of prelim final.
Yeah, I think the Thunder were a bit disappointed with where they finished last year, and you can absolutely tell on court that they're not wanting to finish in
Yeah.
third place again.
And they've had a lot of personnel change. So as a result, like players, one's playing in New Zealand, one went back to England, and so they've had a bit of a change, and a bit of not a clean out, but just a bit of a restructure, and they're performing well.
Definitely.
So
So the Cougars have brought their lead out to 15 goals. Mia Stower's just going to take another long shot, get it to 16.
scary thing for me is this could blow out to 2025. And again, like if you're the coach, I'm not sure what you say to your team to you know, it's not been about those Pollocks come on.
And the wing
She's
defence
gone to wing defence, yeah. So it hasn't been a bad performance. Missed a few shots they wouldn't normally maybe. The passing's been okay, you know, and defensively they've really gutsed it out.
Yeah, defensively they're pretty good every week.
Yeah.
Bridie Condren leads that circle really well, I think. And Charlie Bell is still so accurate, but I think that maybe she's limited in that goal shooter position. She just needs that goal attack, as we've been talking about, someone to really bring the flair in feeding it in, and that's what Stour is so good at, is getting it to her goal shooter, and she's so quick.
Yeah.
I think the Jets are just missing that a bit.
Indeed they are, and, you know, but hey, it's round 3. We've played 14 rounds, and then we've got semis and finals, so it's not hit the panic buttons yet. I mean, if they've got 2 hard games coming up. If they drop those 2, then you'd have to have a bit of a rethink.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to be in the training room this week.
True. So
of course, the game's not over yet, and that's Bell with another one. She's going to keep it as close as they can.
Yeah, so there's a momentum shift from Mizuno, one of our big sponsors, which we thank them very much. And your cousin's done really well in this game. So
not sure how she's going to feel with him. Referred to as my cousin, but Maddie Davies is doing her family name proud.
Have you seen the new ad for Suncorp? And it says thanks Millie. Like it's basically this girl, and she starts in club and she goes all the way and makes a 5 and they hold it. Well, I think they've misspelled it. It should be thanks Millsy, I believe. Oh. So I'm writing to Suncorp this week to
Millsy,
get that changed.
I hate to tell you, but
it's not about me.
There's a criteria you don't meet to make the 5 birds.
So that is true. So I don't know if we're allowed to ask that, are we? Maybe identify that way. So the ball with the Cougars. Yes. So 13 the margin.
But look, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a super netball competition for men in a few years.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? I'm sure you're raring for that to happen.
Just be careful what I can say here and can't say. Netball Queensland is leading in that space with regards to there's going to be something exciting in the men's space soon through Netball Queensland. And that's probably all I can say at this stage. But yeah, like, there's been discussions at the high level with Catherine Clark, and things hopefully will come to fruition. Everyone's still rebounding back from COVID, and there's budget constraints and all sorts of things, and you know what I mean. So, but there is talks, and Netball Australia and Men's Australia have combined a little bit lately. So there's some movement in that space. I always say if you want it to be an Olympic sport, you're going to have to involve men. So and
yeah, you're very right there. And I think it's great for the women to play against the men. Like, you can see that every time they do the practice matches, there's just such a different level of physicality. And that really translates to the women's sport, which is awesome. Yeah,
I'll come back to that. Looks like Abigail Houston just gone into wing defence. Yes, indeed. And obviously Pollock copped a bit of a shoulder knock there and went off. So I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah. So yeah, this year for the first year, it was actually the games against Firebirds and the Lightning were formalised with the Queensland men's team. So it was like almost a schedule was put in place, and they used the men for a couple of their final dress rehearsals, for want of a better term, particularly last Saturday night up at the USC up at the Caloundra and the Lightning. So that was one of the things they did. They fought back here well. It's back to 13. So Liz wants to have a chat. Again, I think I mentioned it last week, but Cougars didn't finish last quarters very well last year. In fact, they lost a number of them. So Liz, not super sure. I think she's addressing that. I guarantee you that's exactly what she's saying. So
I think you'll be right.
Yeah, hopefully we get to listen in. We're not listening in, but we can lip read. Yes, make sure you win the last quarter, girls. Yes, that's what she's saying. Like they just want to finish the game strong. Like the game's probably done. It was probably done at 3/4 time. But she just wants to make sure their attitude is right, and that's the difference between a good team and a champion team. Yeah, so that's exactly right. So.
And while we're here, of course, we'd just like to thank our sponsors: HART Sport, of course, Legassic, Mizuno, Mount Franklin, Powerade, Bondi Vite, and Strap It. And of course, we love our broadcasters here at Double Take Sports, Gino and the team, leading us in the broadcast.
They really do the great job. I've done this a fair bit around the world, and these guys are one of the best I've worked with. So, yeah, hopefully they maintain a long partnership.
Time, and the standard is set pretty high now.
Well, I recommend not going anywhere else because you may be disappointed. But yeah, so looks like Hams has gone to centre. A few changes again there.
A lot of changes in the mid-court from the Jets today. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it.
So, well, I think they're looking for that right combination because
Yeah.
even last week when we did the Townsville game, the last quarter and the
Yes.
mid-court was just not quite right. So
Yeah.
I think Tracy Jeans-Fraser, who's a brilliant tactician, just trying to get the right combinations, and this is part of the process of doing that. So.
Yeah, and this will, I dare say, be their hardest opposition that they'll come up against. So
Ooh. Thunder might not like you saying
Ooh.
that. QT,
I'm
they
saying
go right
it
too.
now.
Yeah.
Saying it now. I'm sticking with my words.
Oh,
but
big call.
Thunder, please give it your
Thunderbolts and
best
lightning.
shot.
So, like, I think I said it last night when I was talking to Paula. Like, there's 4 teams that are red hot, and 4 up and coming teams.
Yeah.
Like the bottom 4 are not that far away
No.
from being elite. We're talking about the Bull Sharks, and they've got those 5 state 19s in there.
Yeah,
You know.
they are such an emerging
Yeah.
team.
And if they can keep them, that's always the issue. Like when they finish their degree, they can go anywhere. But
I completely agree.
fingers
And
crossed they can keep them.
I think one of the best parts about the Cougars of all the teams is maybe that I would say they're the most consistent team in terms of players.
The Cougars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. But it doesn't. This is where you got to have so much respect for Liz White, the coach. She just doesn't matter who she gets. Like we've just seen a kid come in at centre, and it looks like she's been in the team for 25 years.
Yeah.
And and we're not sure, but we think it's her first game at this level. So
yeah. And I mean, Losa Nuimata's been benched. I mean, she's also a really talented player, but it's just so nice to see when players who don't usually play at the top competition can come in and just be so confident and really back
Indeed.
themselves.
Yeah, that's the big thing now, and it's. You talk to these elite coaches. It's all about turning and shooting and back yourself and throw the long ball, and and the era of coaching when we just say play it safe, take a little short pass and drive, blah blah blah. It's sort of over now. It's all about just be confident in what you're doing and your athleticism like that.
Completely.
So yeah,
I would almost say that Maddie Davies probably wasn't expecting to play much today.
yeah, you're probably right.
I mean, coming up from the Ruby, she's not even on the team list.
And Nuimata has played. She's been on and off a little bit. Like she hasn't had a lot of court time.
She's
but
usually in the wing defence position as well, which
Yep.
makes it a little tough.
Yeah.
Being thrown into centre.
But she's played obviously a few minutes, like probably maybe 3/4 all up over the first 2 games, maybe.
Yeah.
So So Beryl moving a little better now. So maybe she's had a bit of work on that knee. So.
And I'm loving that Bella's just turning and shooting. Even if she's missing it, I think I'd rather at this point just see her turn and shoot.
They're 16 down with 7 to play, so you're going to see a bit of long bombs. And Rika's, footwork call. Good call by the umpire there. So
Condren's going to want to move this down pretty quickly with only 6.5 minutes to go.
So they, just no options for him at the moment.
The Cougars' defence is so tough.
They're playing one-on-one, but they're just hanging off a little bit. Like it's a very smart one-on-one defence. They're not tight. And look how many back passes there are. And that's again. Oh no, she got one away. Now it opens up. So if they hit O'Brien, which they do.
Yeah, and something else that you notice in the Cougars, aside from that contact calls, they don't often get caught out of play. You can definitely tell it's a big focus for them to stay in the game and not get called too often.
Yes, that is true discipline. And that is a Liz White mantra. So
Absolutely.
yeah, if you ever just talk to Liz about netball, like that's just her thing. You know that she's all about discipline and belief, and she instills it beautifully.
Well, you can definitely tell the Cougars believe right now.
Yeah, I always tell a story about when I was coaching Lions. I had this year we had a super side and made the final and stuff, and I actually beat Liz a couple of times, and then I played her another 8 times after that, and I was 0 for 8. So I think she took it as a personal attack. So it really wasn't. So we just had a great team that year, and but she's brilliant at what she does. So we all want to be her.
Did she recruit someone on the team?
No,
is that what she did?
Yeah, but it was from within her region. She brought them up, and they came out, and people that you don't think they're going to be superstars, and she just somehow gets the best out of them. A bit like if you're a footballer. Craig Bellamy, what he does in Melbourne, some players go down there towards the end of their career and then have incredible last couple of years.
They do.
And that's Liz does it. She does it with young people, older people. It's quite amazing.
Yeah,
so.
you can definitely tell that the players taking court are just putting out their best performance. I've spoken about her a lot today, but Maddie Davies has just shone in this game for me.
Yeah.
Really consistent. And I think what's probably been the smartest choice is that she plays a pretty similar game to Macy Gardner.
Yeah.
And obviously, the more similar the players, the easier the replacement becomes.
You're 100% correct. And we saw Gardner having a chat to her there. I think it was halftime, maybe. Yeah, having a chat and just
sitting
keeping
on the
it calm
sideline.
and try this, do that, and the kids come out and execute it brilliantly. So there just seems like energy's gone out of the Jets at the moment, and that their energy barometer is usually Steph O'Brien. If she's tearing down the court, they seem to have a high level of energy. But like I say, I just think they're one midi short, and that's probably taking the energy out of them.
Yeah, and I personally prefer to see O'Brien stay in that centre position on a game like this anyway. She's just so fast, and I think she helps keep up that intensity, as we're saying, throughout the whole court.
Yeah.
I think maybe she's a bit limited in that wing attack position right now.
Yeah, so the worrying thing is that if they're lacking a bit of energy in the mids, then they're going to come up against QUT with Keisha Grant and those people that they are high level intensity.
Yes.
So they're going to struggle to match it. Looks like Cubby's come back on. Bell's gone to the bench, so she missed the last couple. So
unusual.
Maybe
I wasn't expecting Bell to go to the bench.
It could be just let's try and in fact, Beryl stayed at GA, so it's probably just to get Cubby as close to the hoop as she can to get her shot selection up, because she's down on percentage this year. Like the 3 games she's played, she's been down, as opposed to how she finished it last year with the Wildcats. So, and the strangest thing was last year, the Wildcats, she became the dominant shooter for them. So there was one game, doing this purely from memory, I think it was 36 from 38 as a GA. It was phenomenal.
Very nice statistic.
And didn't start the game. So, she came on. It was just incredible to watch. And we thought we'd found the next, superstar. And I think we still have.
Yeah.
But, she just hasn't quite found a groove here at the Jets just yet. So.
No, it's not as consistent.
But let's put it in perspective. I'm pretty sure she only played 4 games last year, and she's played 3 now. So she's 7 games into in probably a 120-game career.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
so let's not get too carried away. So, and she's a kid. So at school. So Rika's is just a little bit older than her. Obviously a lot taller. So. I could see Lily Cubby ending up at wing attack, actually. Like at a higher level. Like playing the sort of Gemma Maimai role in the Firebirds, that sort of player. So, the way she moves and stuff like that. And I hate to say it's a tall person's game in that circle. Like, look at Bell, look at Beryl. Beryl's tall. And, so.
Look, it's hard to say, because I think if you're shorter, you've just got to be absolutely phenomenal. I mean, if you look at Steph Wood, she's not the tallest, but then again, she's like one of the best players ever. So
absolutely, late bloomer. Everyone thought she wasn't going to go very far, and then all of a sudden, boom, and
there you go.
Do you want me to tell the story how she came to men's training, then made the diamonds? Do you want me to tell that story again?
I have heard this one. I won't let the listeners.
We won't bore the listeners with that story yet again. So
They probably already know it.
I've been living on that for about 4 years.
Yes.
So, do you want to hear my Milian Mecanazio stories?
Look, she's one of my favourite players, so why not?
Yeah, no. She got sent back when she was in the Firebirds. She got sent back to us, and I was lucky enough to grab her.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that she didn't get a lot of court time with the Firebirds.
Different structures and things back then. I think they had a squad of 14, and so it was different back then. Yeah, so things are different now, and high performance across the sport all over Australia's changed. So
it has.
Yeah, 17 the margin, went 1:20 to go.
The Cougars don't look like they're slowing down, do they?
No, and it's a shame. Like, we built this up to going to be a cracker, but it's sort of got a bit flat. When the Jets were hanging on there, they kept it around 7 and 8. We thought if they could just get a 3 or 4 goal run, they might make it interesting. But Cougars just absorbed the pressure and then took it away from them. So.
Yeah, of course, and even more. Awesome performance given they're missing 2 of their best players.
Yeah, that's the frightening
but
thing.
It's hard to pick who the best player on the Cougars is, isn't it?
Yes. And you're going to ask me that question at the end of the game, aren't you? So
I am, yeah.
So the margin's 18. Like, they've scored 66. That's a lot against the...
Very good score.
Based on last year's numbers, this is the second best
2.
side. And, they've put on 66. So I think the final was 62-47 or something like that. So
yeah, look, I think the next big game to watch will have to be Cougars against Thunder.
So Cougars and Thunder, yes, and next week Jets and QUT. So
yes. Well, 10 seconds to go, and the Cougars are going to take this one pretty strongly.
You think they can win it from here?
No.
Okay.
No.
Time for one more, maybe, as looks like Maimai hits the deck. Stour with it. Of course, our clock's run out, but we've got the official timer from the umpires and scorers. Boom, shakalaka, 67.
67.
67-48, 19 goals.
And there we go. Cougars 67 and the Jets 48. What a game. Cougars so strong. Cougars will take all the points, I believe.
18 competition points to them.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's not bad.
Well, as always, Millsy, who was the best on court for Jets?
Jets, it's hard to pick a good player for them. They were down as a team. They were down on energy. Condren tried hard. She went out to GD. I don't like her at GD. That's just me. But, she hunted around. She made it a little bit difficult for Stour. That's when they were hanging in there. Like, when they moved Condren to GD, they kept the margin around that 7-8. We were talking about this could blow out. But, maybe you'd have to probably say Condren. Charlie Bell's a little bit down on her shots today.
Yeah.
Beryl looks like she's carrying some sort of injury. And then Cubby didn't shoot very well. And then the middies, they work so hard. Like, they looked gone by three-quarter time, and that's the problem there. But there's your, well, I won't say cousin because she's not, but Davies there, like she was a superstar, came out.
Wasn't she?
Look, I think they're all patting her on the back. And
for the Cougars, she was my favourite on court today. I mean, I would be surprised if she was expecting to get as much court time as she did today, and I think she was spectacular.
Yeah, she was great, don't get me wrong. I probably would go with Remy Camo because Camo had the hardest job on probably the hardest player to play on in the Jets, which is Bell because of her height and athleticism. And Camo did a great job on her. And particularly, like, Bakewell Doran didn't get the obligatory 20 intercepts that she normally gets, so she was a little bit down on output. Still played well, don't get me wrong. But, so I thought, for me, probably Camo and Davies probably second. She was good. All three shooters went well. It's hard to pick a bad one, you know what I mean?
Isn't it? Every week.
The only one who didn't was Nui Marta because she didn't play much, so there you go.
No,
so that's the only one we can eliminate.
Didn't get to see Isabel Shearer either. Yeah,
so she didn't get on either. So, it's that's just an all-round solid performance. I would defy anyone to say the game was won here. It was just a great team effort from a team that is just brilliantly drilled, brilliantly trained. And, if you're not the Cougars, you've got a lot to do to keep up with them for this coming season.
That's the call from Dave Mills. So that's it for round 3 of the HART Sapphire Series Netball. Thank you all so much for joining in for the match of the round on the Career Mail subscription platform. We'd, of course, like to give a huge thanks to our fantastic sponsors, Heart Sport, Legassic, Powerade, Mount Franklin, Bondi Vite, and Strafford, and extend this thanks to our broadcaster, Double Take Sports. Next week, we've got another action-packed weekend ahead with the Wildcats taking on the Cougars at 5 p.m. right back here at Nissan Arena. Simultaneously, it's a battle of the universities with the USC Thunder against the USQ Jets, also at 5 p.m. at the Thunder's home turf at USC.
Road trip.
It is a bit. The Bond University Bull Sharks will take on our Northern Mendy Rays at 7 p.m. also at Nissan Arena. And, of course, to get your netty fix across the weekend, we've got the Carina League's Tigers facing off against QUT at 12:40 p.m. at Nissan Arena. This precursor to the Birdies match that's on right off afterwards is only, and I repeat, only accessible with the purchase of a Firebirds ticket, where they'll take on the Adelaide Thunderbirds at 3 p.m. at our home nest, Nissan Arena. So trust me, you'll want to get there, and to make things a bit more alluring to you, we've got a cheeky discount code right here. That's HSS 2021. So take your mum, take your grandma, take your friends if they're mums too, and celebrate netball with our favourite birdie mums on court. Thank you for tuning in today for round 3 of the HART Sapphire series. My name is Hannah Davies, and I was joined today by the stellar expertise of Dave Mills.
Thank you.
Sapphire series, we'll see you next weekend for more live netty.
Bye for now. Be brilliant.